Good morning and welcome to what day is it? Wednesday, where I'm sat this morning at lovely, bright, sunny weather. So I shall be out for a walk later today. My name is Sherry Bevan. I run the Confident Mother, and I'm talking to you live today from my Career Conversations group, which is over on Facebook if you're not already there. So today, what I'd like to talk about is the cover letter. So I get asked this a lot. Should I include a cover letter on my job application? And I've got a couple of different thoughts on this. Firstly, if the job ad, or if the recruiter tells you, please provide a cover letter, or if it's one of those online applications and you have the opportunity to provide a cover letter, then I think yes, absolutely include a cover letter. Because if they're asking for one, and very often when they're asking for one, they'll also ask you to, you know, write a cover letter to show us how you meet the criteria. And that's the next important thing is when you do a cover letter, first of all, make sure you're feeling kind of high energy and excited when you write it so that it comes over a bit alive and a bit of passion in there, a bit of energy in there. So, one of the tricks that I use myself when I'm doing my newsletter, for example, is I'll go and listen to really loud dance music for 5 minutes or something like really happy music, and I'll just jig around. I'll actually stand up and dance, and then I sit down and do the writing. And that's what I encourage you to do when you're doing a cover letter, is to get your energy up high first. So, and then when you sit down, just let it flow out. But by doing something completely different, doing something physical, something active, it kind of switches the brain around a bit and it gives you more energy, more flow when you sit down to write the cover letter. Um, Try and bring some personality into that cover letter. Don't just make it the same cover letter for every single job. Make sure you bring out some of you, like why are you passionate about that company? Why are you so excited about this particular project? What is it about this industry that you really enjoy working? And then if they have asked you to address the criteria, make sure you do that. And the thing is, there's not an awful lot of time to impress with a CV and a cover letter. So what I recommend is that you follow the order that the criteria laid out in. Because our hiring managers can be sat there with their form and thinking, does she do this? Yes. Does she do that? Yes. She's going to be sat there looking at her list and just ticking off as she goes. So make it easy. You don't need to um, try and be clever. Just make it simple and straightforward. Do the criteria in the order that they've got them listed on the job ad, because then you're making it as easy as possible for that person to say, yep, 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 rather than saying, yep, oh, then hunt around, yep. So make it easy. The cover letter needs to tell them why you're excited about the role, why you're the best person for the role, why you're the best candidate. Really get some of your, you and your natural personality in there. And if you're finding that hard, ask someone to read the letter and ask them, how can I put more of me in this? It's something we cover in my job search confidence course. Cover letters is definitely one of the key modules that we look at. Um, we don't cover it in my 5-day sprint. So if you are looking for more job search hints, that will teach you how to get started with your job search. But we don't actually cover the cover letters. But I do. It is in my pay program. So that's one thought on cover letters. My other thought on cover letters, if they don't ask you for one and there's no, it's not an online application, I'm not sure that it's worth doing. Um, I'm in kind of split over in two camps really on this, because I think very often when I was the hiring manager, for example, it would be my HR team that would sift through the cover letters if there were any. I only ever got to see the actual CV. So very often the person you're trying to impress might not get to see your cover letter unless it's specifically been asked for as part of the application. So think about it. Um, if you think maybe your CV is not obvious why you're making that, maybe it's a change or a pivot in your career. Maybe you've spent years working for a law firm and now you're trying to get into financial services, or maybe you've spent years working in a charity and now you're trying to get into a law firm. Make it obvious, point out the transferable skills. It's a bit like when you learn when you have driving lessons and when you go for your driving test, your examiner wants to know that you've looked in the mirror. So you've got to make it obvious that you're looking in the mirror, that you're checking your wing mirrors, that you're checking the mirror in the car. So they need to see that head movement. So it's kind of the same thing as that. You want to make it obvious to the hirer because they've just got a few seconds to scan through your CV. So, sometimes a cover letter can be really, really helpful. I hope that's been helpful for you today. Let me know what you think. Tell me about a time when a cover letter has worked for you. And if you're watching the replay, just type hashtag replay so that I know you've been watching. Thanks for listening.